Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating, totally hidden world right beneath our feet. We're going to explore the literal anatomy of a city's infrastructure to understand exactly why things break, the environmental science driving those failures, and how the experts step in to permanently solve them. And to anchor this, we're using the Midwestern community of Cheviot, Ohio as our prime example. Let's get into it. Okay, picture this. It's 2 a.m., you wake up, and your basement is completely flooded. It's an absolute nightmare, right? Now, in that moment of sheer panic, it probably feels like you've just been hit with random, terrible luck. But here is the secret of home infrastructure. It is almost never random. A burst pipe or a backed up sewer line, that's usually the final act of a story involving decades of hidden environmental stress, shifting geology, and aging materials. To make sense of this hidden world, we'll follow a quick roadmap. First, we'll look at the Cheviot ecosystem. Second, 4 common pipe nightmares. Third, the professional fix. And finally, why plumbing codes matter.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the Cheviot ecosystem, geology and history. Because every town has its own unique geological footprint.
So what's really interesting about Cheviot is how its location creates an absolute perfect storm for infrastructure stress. We're talking about a community nestled right in the Mill Creek Valley. Come springtime, the proximity to Mill Creek means you get these incredibly high groundwater tables that just relentlessly press against basement floors, completely overwhelming aging sump pumps. Combine that with a massive housing boom back in the 1920s through the 1950s, especially around places like Harrison Avenue and Vine Street, and you've got aging infrastructure sitting directly in the path of some serious natural forces.
But honestly, the real geological villain here is the dirt itself. Because these homes were built on volatile, clay-heavy soil, they are engaged in a constant, literal tug-of-war. Think of clay soil like a giant underground sponge. When it rains, it expands dramatically. When it dries out in the summer heat, it shrinks and cracks. That means your underground pipes are being subjected to intense, continuous pressure. They're being bent back and forth, year in and year out, until eventually, they crack.
And that pressure cooker of an environment naturally leads us right into Section 2, common pipe nightmares, everyday disasters. So, if a home was built before 1960, it was likely built with galvanized steel supply pipes. And over the decades, these pipes do something highly destructive. They literally rust from the inside out. You'll usually notice it when your water pressure mysteriously drops, or worse, when your morning glass of water turns a rusty, murky brown. Yuck, right? This is exactly why professionals have to systematically upgrade these older homes to modern, clean copper or flexible PEX tubing to restore that durable, code-compliant flow before the old pipes rust entirely through and flood the walls. Moving on to nightmare number 2, root intrusion. You know those gorgeous, mature maple and oak trees lining the neighborhood streets? Well, they are incredibly thirsty. Their root systems are constantly hunting for moisture, and they are shockingly good at detecting the tiny bits of condensation escaping from cracked old clay sewer lines. They'll actually infiltrate those cracks and grow into these massive, dense webs inside the pipe. Before you know it, they've completely choked off the wastewater flow, sending it right back up into your floor drains. No, thank you. Nightmare number 3 is the seasonal freeze-thaw cycle. Winter temperatures in the Midwest drop well below freezing, and when water sits inside exposed pipes in, say, an unheated crawl space, it turns to ice and expands. We're talking thousands of pounds of pressure per square inch. It is easily enough to rip solid metal wide open. Seriously, just a simple, forgotten garden hose left connected outside can lead to a completely burst pipe, causing a massive flood the exact moment that ice finally thaws. And our 4th nightmare revolves around a very specific number for that big metal cylinder in your basement, your water heater. 8 to 12, that is the magic lifespan in years for a standard tank water heater in these homes. Constant heating and cooling, mixed with local mineral sediment building up inside, slowly corrodes the bottom of the tank. If you ever hear rumbling noises down there or see rusty water coming from your hot taps, you're likely nearing the end of that 8 to 12-year window and you're facing imminent failure. Okay, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk solutions in Section 3, the professional fix, diagnostic solutions. How do local experts actually fight back against all this shifting soil and rusting metal? Well, true professional intervention relies on a really streamlined 3-step methodology designed to find the actual root cause. No slapping temporary band-aids on symptoms here. First step, quick dispatch with fully stocked trucks so they aren't wasting time running to the hardware store for parts. Second,
high-tech diagnosis. We're talking running fiber optic cameras down the lines to actually see the blockages underground, followed by upfront, flat-rate pricing so there are no surprises. And finally, completion, using quality parts, pressure testing the system, and thoroughly cleaning up the workspace. I love this quote because it really captures the whole ethos of proper structural maintenance. I mean, anybody can snake a drain and get water flowing for a few days, but true professionalism, that means diagnosing issues with total transparency. If there's a giant root mass in the sewer line, a pro is going to show you the camera footage, walk you through your options, and give you firm pricing before a single wrench is ever turned. It's all about engineering a permanent fix for your home's specific condition. But listen, even the best fixes in the world have to adhere to the rules, which brings us to Section 4, Why Plumbing Codes Matter, the Invisible Shield. It is so easy to roll our eyes and think of building codes as just annoying bureaucratic red tape, but they are literally life-saving standards. Take pipe venting, governed by the Ohio Plumbing Code. It's not just there to make your water drain faster, it actually prevents a vacuum that would suck the water right out of your plumbing traps. You know, those U-shaped pipes under the sink? Without that water barrier, highly toxic, flammable sewer gases would just vent straight into your bathroom. Or consider relief valves on water heaters. Those literally prevent the tank from turning into a pressurized bomb in your basement. And ensuring proper combustion air, that prevents fatal carbon monoxide from quietly accumulating. It is absolutely crucial stuff. And it goes beyond just safety. Correctly pulling county permits for major work is vital for protecting your property's financial value. If you skip permits today just to save a few bucks, that unpermitted work is almost certainly going to come back to haunt you as a massive legal headache during a future home inspection when you try to sell. Proper permitting validates your insurance claims and proves on paper that the work meets all those safety standards we just talked about. So what is the big takeaway from this explainer? Ultimately, maintaining a home's infrastructure isn't just about unclogging a sink. It is an ongoing, relentless battle against local geology, harsh weather, and the inevitable decay of time. And winning that battle requires a systematic approach. It means relying on strict safety standards and the expert diagnostic knowledge of seasoned pros who truly understand the exact environment your home is sitting on. Which leaves us with one final, pretty critical question for you to ask yourself today. When was the last time you truly inspected the hidden infrastructure running beneath your own floors? Because as we've seen, those pipes are fighting a quiet daily battle. Make sure you know exactly what condition they're in before the geology wins, and you wake up to a very wet surprise at 2 a.m. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.